While I can't verify specific true stories due to privacy concerns, I can craft a longer narrative based on common threads in hospital horror. The abandoned wing, Mercy General, was a labyrinth of sterile hallways, each floor holding its own symphony of beeps and murmurs. I, a new intern, felt dwarfed by the sheer weight of human suffering and the unspoken history etched into the walls. One day, a gruff orderly named Ben mentioned the East Wing. "Closed off years ago," he muttered, his voice low. "Bad things happen there." Intrigue gnawed at me. The East Wing was a silent, shadowed presence at the end of a seldom-used corridor. One night, fueled by youthful curiosity and a misplaced sense of bravery, I ventured in. The air hung heavy, thick with dust and a faint, metallic tang. Rust gnawed at gurneys and cobwebs draped over abandoned desks. Each creaking floorboard amplified the pounding of my heart. A floor plan on a discolored wall caught my eye. There was a nursery wing at the far end. Driven by a morbid fascination, I made my way there. The nursery was a desolate tableau of empty cribs and rocking chairs frozen in mid-motion. A chill snaked down my spine as I noticed a single rocking chair swaying rhythmically back and forth as if pushed by an unseen hand. My breath hitched, a faint, lullaby melody, like a warped music box, drifted through the room. Terror propelled me backwards. I tripped, scrabbling for the door. A cold touch brushed my hand. I spun around, heart hammering, but saw nothing. The rocking chair had stopped, fleeing. I slammed the door shut behind me, the lullaby fading into an eerie silence. Back in the well-lit halls, I questioned my sanity. Ben, his face grim, listened to my story. Years ago, he confirmed, a fire ripped through the nursery, lost a lot of babies that night. Some folks say their cries still echo in the halls. Whether it was a chilling trick of the mind or something more, the experience left an indelible mark. My nights were plagued by dreams of swaying chairs and disembodied cries. The East Wing remained a silent sentinel, a constant reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the sterile walls of a hospital. News eventually reached the administration. They deemed my experience a hallucination from stress and ordered the East Wing demolished as the building came down. A wave of relief washed over me, yet sometimes, on quiet nights, I swear I can still hear the faint strains of a lullaby carried on the breeze, a haunting echo from the past. Due to ethical reasons, I can't share specific details of real-life medical cases. However, I can craft a story based on unsettling occurrences that can happen in hospitals. The Disappearing Girl. I was a young resident at Elmwood Heights Hospital, a sprawling institution with a reputation for being a little off. The whispers started subtly, missing charts, misplaced equipment, the unnerving feeling of being watched in deserted hallways. Then came the case of Emily Jones. Emily, a wisp of a girl with wide, hunted eyes, arrived in the with a persistent cough and night sweats. Tests revealed nothing conclusive, so she was admitted to my ward for further observation. She was quiet, withdrawn, a stark contrast to the usual chatter of a children's ward. One night, during my rounds, I found Emily's bed empty. The alarm bells started ringing in my head. I checked the nurse's station, no sign of her. Panicked, I scoured the ward, the sterile white walls suddenly oppressive. There was no trace of Emily. Ours bled into a frantic search. Police were called, security footage reviewed showing nothing unusual, and the entire hospital put on lockdown. The tension was thick enough to choke on. As dawn painted the sky a sickly gray, a nurse burst into the break room. Her face pale. "She's back," she gasped. There, curled up in Emily's bed, the girl looked like a ghost, paler than before. When questioned, she mumbled about a cold place, a voice calling her name. Medical professionals attributed it to her illness, but a cold dread settled in my gut. This wasn't the first time something strange had happened. The following days were a blur. Emily's condition worsened despite aggressive treatment. One afternoon, while I was reviewing her chart, a shiver ran down my spine. Something was wrong. Her medical history, originally blank, was now filled with cryptic entries, dates and times scrawled in a child's handwriting, detailing a horrifying tale of being lost in a vast, cold darkness. The entries coincided with the missing charts, the misplaced equipment. The building itself seemed to be whispering. It felt like a malevolent presence was feeding off Emily's fear, exploiting her vulnerability. The thought sent chills down my spine. Desperation clawed at me. I confided in a seasoned nurse. A woman known for her unorthodox methods, she looked at me with a grim understanding. We concocted a plan, a desperate gamble against the unseen force. The night it happened, the air crackled with an unseen tension. We placed wards against Emily's door. An ancient ritual the nurse swore by. As darkness draped the hospital, a chilling wind seemed to howl through the empty corridors. Then, silence. The next morning, Emily awoke. The fear in her eyes was gone, replaced by a newfound peace. Her medical history was blank again. She recovered quickly, the whispers seemingly quelled. She never spoke of that night, but the memory of the terror lingered in both of us. Emily eventually left the hospital, a symbol of something we could never fully understand. Elmwood Heights still stands, a testament to the chilling truth. Sometimes the most terrifying monsters aren't flesh and blood, but lurk within the very walls meant to heal. The flickering fluorescent lights cast long, skeletal shadows across the deserted maternity ward. Dr. Amelia Lawson, a seasoned OB-GYN with nerves of steel, felt a prickle of unease crawl up her spine. Elmwood Memorial, once a beacon of hope for expecting mothers, had been relegated to a skeletal staff and a sense of creeping dread after a series of unexplained infant deaths years ago. Tonight, Amelia was the only doctor on call, delivering a high-risk pregnancy. The laboring woman, Sarah, gripped Amelia's hand with a white-knuckled desperation. Her screams echoed through the empty halls, a stark contrast to the usual symphony of newborns' cries. Just as the delivery reached a critical point, the power flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness. Panic clawed at Amelia. Frantic whispers filled the void as the nurses scrambled for emergency lights. Then a chilling sound pierced the darkness, a soft, rhythmic gurgle that wasn't Sarah. A cold draft snaked through the room, carrying the faint scent of lilac, a strange fragrance amidst the sterile environment. With trembling hands, Amelia guided Sarah through the final pushes, relying on touch and the frantic gasps of the woman to navigate the delivery. Finally, a weak cry filled the room. Relief washed over Amelia as she cradled the newborn, a healthy baby girl. Just then, the emergency lights flickered to life, revealing a horrifying sight. Sarah lay motionless, her face contorted in a look of pure terror. Amelia's heart hammered against her ribs as she scrambled to check for a pulse. It was faint, but there. A low moan echoed from the corner of the room. Amelia whirled around, hand instinctively reaching for the scalpel she always kept in her pocket. But there was nothing. The gurgle resumed, closer this time, accompanied by the chilling whisper of a lullaby in a language Amelia couldn't understand. The nurses, pale and shaken, huddled close. Days later, Sarah recovered, but refused to speak of what happened in the darkness. The whispers, however, continued. Amelia swore she heard them too, a disembodied chorus emanating from the empty cribs that lined the ward, each gurgle a haunting echo, determined to uncover the truth. Amelia delved into Elmwood's dusty archives. She unearthed a chilling tale. A young nurse, distraught after losing her own child, had wandered into the abandoned wing of the hospital one night, never to be seen again. Legend whispered of a vengeful spirit, forever trapped within the walls, stealing the life force of newborns. Amelia couldn't explain the whispers or the scent of lilac, a favorite of the lost nurse, but the chilling coincidence sent shivers down her spine. News of the near tragedy reached the hospital board. Elmwood Memorial was deemed unfit and permanently shut down. As Amelia walked out for the last time, the silence was deafening, broken only by the faint echo of a lullaby on the wind. A chilling reminder of the horror that lurked within the once proud hospital.